While we continue to suffer in the inescapable emptiness that is the F1 season break, I've impatiently scrolled through social media and found many people talking about their ideal F1 grid, their ideal F1 calendar, their ideal F1 rules and regulations, and I thought, hey, I should do that. So here we are, two randoms on the internet bored out of their minds talking about ideal F1 realities. Now, quick disclaimer, I will not go super in depth on some parts in the video since I may have discussed certain points in previous videos, but don't worry, I'll still give my justifiable evidence and reasoning for my delusions. So without a further ado, let me explain what I mean by my ideal F1 reality. There are three core aspects in my opinion that make my F1 reality: the rules and driving standards, the F1 calendar, and of course, the F1 grid. So I will discuss what I would love each of these to be in my ideal world and truly show to all of you why I am right and everyone else who isn't me is wrong. Just kidding. I'll probably prove to everyone why fans are fans and the professionals are professionals, but I don't care. This is fun discussion. Speaking about that, feel free to voice your ideal F1 reality in the comments and continue the discussion under there and totally not have a war of ideals. So with that, make sure to join the Discord for good fun and good talks, and subscribe if you're new if you are a cool person. So enough yapping, and here is my ideal F1 reality. So as I said previously, we have three main points that make up my ideal F1 reality, so let's start with my ideal racing standards. If looking at my past videos where I have discussed driving standards as anything to go by, then I should prepare for the comments saying how I'm a Drive to Survive fan and how I'm an idiot who doesn't know racing. But to counter that, I love watching IndyCar and I kind of base my opinions on that, so take that F1 elitist. Anyways, I need to stop going off topic. The first major change I would make to the F1 driving standards is the very controversial ahead of the apex rule. Okay, I need to relax for this. I hate the ahead of the apex rule with all of my life. If Spider-Man is the ahead of the apex rule, then call me Eddie Brock, because any moment I could trash on the rule, I will take it. My main reason is that it's just flat out stupid. Yes, Max is a genius for manipulating it to his favor, but it's still stupid. The fact that as long as your car is ahead of the apex by even the smallest of margin could void you of any wrongdoing is just stupid. I get why it is implemented since drivers love to send it around the outside and overtake off track, but like I said before, it could be manipulated to the point where you could just send an unholy dive bomb and drive the other guy off the road and be void of any wrong. COTA at Mexico 2024 is a prime example of this, since yeah, Max is doing everything he can to nab the title, and I respect that, but I can criticize the driving. It's just flat out unfair and an unappealing way to watch racing. The best Max battles are the ones where the guy doesn't take his manipulation and instead manipulates with him and drives almost exactly like him. That right there is peak racing that'll make me cream my pants any day of the week. So essentially, can the ahead of the apex rule and make them drive and fight like animals. Let them send their dive bombs, let them fight off track. If it is good and most importantly clean racing, then it's fine to me. Obviously, penalize the driver that makes someone crash or go off into the gravel, since that ruins their race and that's not cool. But if the runoff is actual road, say it with me now, let them race. I'm still not done yet, guys. The second rule I will tweak is kind of stupid. Now, disclaimer, I am not an engineer, but make engines unreliable again. This one is a double-edged sword, since I miss the times you're watching the race and then boom, engine blooms in smoke and someone is out and the safety car is now deployed. Nowadays, drivers can just slow walk to the pits with a busted engine and avoid any sort of drama, so I want random engine DNFs, especially at the front of the field, to happen again, but I'll probably regret this once it is my driver that is affected. Oh well, I miss the randomness of it though. Today we see that engines are so reliable that we don't even see engine penalties that often anymore due to all the parts and allocations they have. So the solution for this one is fairly simple. Give less engine part allocations to the teams so that at various points of the season, especially towards the end of the season, we see engine DNFs and engine penalties out the wazoo again. Now finally, one last tweak I would make is a change to the track limits on certain tracks. I like it when drivers go flat out, and on certain tracks, I think the track limit should be the curb, not the white line. Now truthfully, I would like this to be the case for all tracks on the calendar, but there are two main problems. First, some tracks have curbs that really hurt the tires and may as well just be the spike strips that police use. And secondly, wokeness is preventing me from speaking my truth. I know if I say all track limits should be the curb, I'm gonna have some new fan of the sport be like, but it's the rules. So I'll just say some tracks for now. Anyways, clips from before 2020 really showed the absolute pace of these cars were not limited by needlessly strict track limits, and I want those sort of laps back instead of whatever we have right now. Anyways, those are my ideal rules and regulations. Please don't bully me. Okay, now for my ideal calendar picks, and this one will be much more shorter than my previous or next section, simply because I made a video a long time ago talking about just this, so go watch that once you're done with this video. Anyways, I'll keep these only for new and different calendar picks, so let's start with the glorious return of Jerez to the calendar, but not for the Spanish Grand Prix. Instead, it's for preseason testing. I still think having preseason testing take place at a track that isn't on the calendar is a good idea, since it keeps things fresh for all races, and I think Jerez has a good blend of everything. So yeah, simple placement for me. Next, we have the actual glorious return of a beloved track, Malaysia. Sepang is a phenomenal track that just doesn't deserve to be left collecting dust. I mean, what can I say that already hasn't been said about the track? The corner placements are great since it allows for good flowing racing, and the straights allow for good speed to be carried out and into the following corners, allowing some nice dive bombs and drag races. It's a shame it really wasn't profitable in its last years, since again, it's way too good to not be here. Next, we have the alright, I guess, return of Portimao, for really no other reason than representation at less cash grab street races. The races we saw in 2020 and 2021 were good in my opinion, and I feel like this is a track that under the right conditions could produce bangers with all the track elevation, the twisty bits that make the track a joy to drive on the sim. Next, we obviously have Istanbul Park because, like Sepang, it's way too good to be rotting. Rinse and repeat what I said about Sepang, except mention track width this time since cars can actually run side by side around here. Moving on, we obviously have Hockenheim because Germany is just way too iconic to not have a spot on the F1 calendar. It's a really good track with good turns, but perhaps it's a little overrated in my books. Finally, I want to see the Indianapolis Grand Prix layout return since it really needs another chance. The racing in IndyCar around here is actually really good, and the rain that can happen here can really spice the race up massively. Plus, it's freaking Indianapolis. It's also too iconic to not have. Plus, it would rid us on Miami, so there's another bonus. So those are the additions I'm adamant on. However, I want to highlight some honorable mentions. Firstly, Mugello, since Imola, let's be real, is not that suited for current F1 machinery, so why not give Mugello a chance again with the current cars and see how that works out? Secondly, I want to mention Motortown in Kuwait since, what the hell? Why is such a beauty hiding like this? Other series show just how good the track is, so why not stick an F1 car on it? It's grade 1 as well, so come on, do it already. Finally, any track in Africa would do. Whether it's Morocco, South Africa, Rwanda, I really don't care. We just need one in Africa since how can the so-called World Series skip an entire continent inhabited by people? Now finally, the last bit to my perfect F1 reality, my ideal F1 driver picks. Now critically, I will not go team by team showing my ideal lineups. Instead, I will highlight drivers I want to see on the F1 grid without thinking about the logistics, cause why not? Anyways, I desperately want to see Pato O'Ward on the grid soon. I need my representation back in the sport, and Pato is the perfect driver to do that. He has shown good promise for McLaren and IndyCar since the only thing really stopping him from winning the championship is Arrow McLaren themselves. Plus in F1, he has shown good pace and has shown to have a good understanding of car development. It should also be worth noting, being Mexican, he will be highly marketable since the things he is already doing for IndyCar are wonderful from a marketing POV. So imagine that on F1 scale. Please, man, I'll do anything to see him in the sport. Just please, man. Anyways, next, I have literally any other driver that isn't Lance Stroll to take his place. Obviously, I don't mean that for true, so shush with your Mazepin or Latifi jokes, but seriously, any driver better than Stroll would be so much more beneficial to everyone. And yeah, a simple one, so moving on. Next, I have Colton Herta since my stocks need to make a profit soon. We know he's good in IndyCar, so stick him in F1. Teams have been lusting over him for a good reason. He has a great ability to overtake and be so aggressive. Yes, he crashes a lot, but we know Red Bull is willing to hire drivers like that, so do it, guys. Put him in a V-Carb soon. And wow, man, I genuinely think every driver on the grid is deserving of their place. I actually can't think about any other drivers because the grid we are going to have for 2025 is actually kind of cracked. Obviously, we have our Stroll in there, but with him removed, I genuinely think there's lots and lots of talent present. So yeah, interesting. I'm at a roadblock. Maybe we can throw drivers like Alex Palau, Dries Van Thor, SVJ, Kyle Larson, fucking Karner Zilic for all I care, but age and experience is an issue for some, so yeah. So I guess that's my ideal F1 reality. Am I gonna get called stupid? Probably, but I don't care. I love sharing my opinions, good or not, since I just love yapping and sharing with others. So on that note, let me know what your ideal F1 reality is in the comments below and try and debate me. I dare you. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support. And remember, if you want to see videos early and get some more cool benefits, make sure to join us since it also really helps me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe for better content, and make sure to let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.